Hello, Mazanele. You are my favorite. I just want to let you know. But I do need to talk to you about something, all right? It's Tuesday, and every week we discuss a relationship dilemma. And today we have a scenario. And let me just read this for you, just to give you a little scene setter, because we are delving into finances and relationships. So allow me to open this can of worms. Now, I've been dating my girlfriend for almost a year now, and things are getting quite serious. We have moved in together and started sharing expenses. She makes more money than I do. She is also very special and social, loves to go out and dates, explore new places, and she's big on gifting. Big time. How do I communicate to her that I can't afford the lifestyle we are living and I'm struggling to keep up without letting her down? This is making me resent this relationship. Dun, dun, dun. However, fear not. We have a panel of experts ready to weigh in and give you advice. We've got Danielle Meyer, who is here, a mental health counselor, and then two ladies from the Tiny Room Therapy, of course, Lucinda J. Valentine and Mandy Pretorius, who are both here to ensure we unpack this properly. Ladies, welcome. Did you hear my scenario? Not mine.
Yes.
It's not my scenario, but it's a scenario, and we just want to unpack.
Yes.
In no particular order, Danielle, I'll start with you. Finances in a relationship. As you can hear, it is a stressor because it feels like what's in there. I'm hearing a little bit of ego.
Yeah.
I'm hearing a little bit of vulnerability, quite a lot of that, in fact, when it comes to finances. We do live in South Africa. Socioeconomics are a big stressor anyway. So tell me about the dynamics of finances in a South African relationship, and why do they always cause this big bump in the road?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to finances, it's just so important to talk about in a relationship.
Yeah.
And I mean, if we put it into context, with the South African context, right, we can see how it becomes a stressor very quickly. But when it comes to finance, it actually impacts everything about a relationship.
Yes.
So it's so important that the couple needs to talk about their shared financial goals. What does their lifestyle look like? Are they a saver? Are they a spender? What are their habits? And come to a joint vision on what they both envision for the relationship. And obviously to discuss that before going into the relationship as well.
Interesting. However, you know, things change. The ebbs and flows of jobs and job seeking. Sometimes you land in an amazing job. But Lucinda, let us talk a little bit about what that person's feeling about, you know, the other person earning a bit more money, and now that person wants to enjoy their salary, enjoy and go out to different places and enjoy the fine dining restaurants, and the other person is thinking, my 50% here is going to be far less than that person's 50%. Talk to me about how that becomes a stressor, especially to the person who this case study is about.
Well, obviously you can pick up maybe some insecurity.
There we go.
And, you know, a lot of people think that the way that you feel is because of external factors, and a lot of the time it's stuff that's going on inside. So definitely somebody that's possibly got a little bit of people-pleasing also, and that comes out of insecurity, you know, that approval addiction. There's lots of things that are underlying that kind of hinders them from being full in, being confident that they can only bring that amount to the table. And obviously communication is key, and being transparent. But this case study or this context is very specific, because I'm thinking of a person that's dating, not living together. There's maybe less pressures on that person, but they're living together. They may be sharing those, you know, rental costs and all the rest of it. So I'm picking up a lot of insecurity, and that's something that can be addressed, obviously, with time. But I don't want the person to feel that the other party or the other partner is pressurizing them to kind of live up to that standard. I don't feel it so much, but we'll get into that, I'm sure.
We will definitely get into that. But Mandy, as you can hear from the case study, and this is a boyfriend-girlfriend scenario, boyfriend, male, South African male. We are not very good at emotions, okay? I'm going to say that as a South African male, we're not good at insecurity because of a lot of cultural impact that we've had in the way we've been brought up in this country. So everybody says communication.
Yeah.
But how do you even begin to communicate the fact that I am feeling a lot lesser in this relationship? I am feeling out of my depth here. I'm feeling like I don't deserve you because of what's happening here. How does one even begin to have a conversation like that as a South African male? I know it's a tough one, but I know that you can handle it, Mandy.
Yeah, I think, you know, if you think about it, it is tough, but it starts with you as a person, and doing the introspection and being
Yes.
honest, you know, about where is the things that I'm, you know, I'm struggling with, and what are the things, you know, that's causing this insecurity. Because remember, we can never expect our partner to address our insecurities in
Yes.
a relationship. It's something that we need to address first.
Amen.
So looking at it from that perspective, if you do find it then difficult to start that conversation, and you feel that you don't have the abilities or you don't have the skills, then I would always say, you know, go for therapy and speak to somebody else that's objective, that's outside of the relationship first. And I'm sure through that process, you will get the confidence and the skills in order to address that.
I love therapy, can I just say? It's, I'm an
glad to
advocate
hear
for it.
that.
It's like going to the gym for your mind and your emotions.
Yep.
And I love that about it, because
Yeah.
I feel like I stretch out. It's almost like mind mobility and emotional mobility, and I would encourage all my South African men who are a bit worried about it. You don't have to look strong all the time, my friend. Go to therapy. They've got you. And so do these ladies. If you have any questions on finances and being in a relationship, or, you know, questions on our case study, maybe you're in a very similar scenario where your partner earns a bit more and you're feeling a bit out of your depth, so to speak, send us a little question. You're welcome. 063-408-8863. You have a part 2 coming out in the next couple of moments, so please make sure you stay there.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso on S3, and we've been chatting, really, about something fantastic, which has been a little conversation about finances and relationship. Now, this is something in the same paragraph. You're thinking, what is happening here, Carl? I know. But it is so important for us to engage and chat. So we've got Danielle Meyer, who is here, our mental health counselor, and then 2 ladies from the Tiny Room Therapy, of course, Lucinda J. Valentine and Mandy Pretorius. Just further unpacking the strangest things that can pop up, and also the things that are most difficult to navigate. So ladies, once again, we have a few comments that have come through, but just to make sure that we are on the same page, we had a bit of a case study about, just to say vaguely, a boyfriend and a girlfriend. They're in a relationship. Girlfriend earns a bit more. Boyfriend is saying that he is just feeling a bit out of his depth and maybe starting to resent the relationship based on the fact that the partner is enjoying a lifestyle that he cannot keep up with financially. Let's take a look at your comments, and starting off with the first, and ladies, you can weigh in. This one is from Clarice Ann Horn saying, why are these issues coming up after moving in together? When you decide to move in and blend your life with someone else's, whether it's just living together or getting married, these are the issues to be discussed beforehand, so that there's no confusion moving forward. Hi, man. Guys, you are adulting incorrectly. This scenario is someone's reality as we speak. Clarice Ann Horn, thank you for your honesty. Ladies, I'm going to go to Danielle first and foremost. As you can hear, the beforehand conversations, the
Yes.
communication you were chatting about now.
Yes.
Let's be honest. Some people move in together because they believe they are going to strengthen the relationship by moving in together.
Yeah.
Let's speak to that for a second. Is that going to strengthen your relationship? Just going, hey, if we move in together, all our problems will be solved, baby.
No, it will not. And that's because we haven't outlined clear expectations for the relationship beforehand. So that's why it's so important to communicate this well before you get into a relationship. It helps to manage your expectations, gauge compatibility between yourself and the partner, and it avoids that building up of resentment or confusion or misunderstanding that might come up.
Ladies, anything to add, Lucinda or Mandy, in terms of that?
Carl, you mentioned it way early in the segment that things change when you move into a relationship. So, you know, maybe they didn't start out the way the context is at the moment. And those discussions couldn't have been had beforehand. But also, we were chatting a little bit earlier about this particular case study, and also there's a facade that sometimes is, you know, portrayed when people are dating. And maybe that transparency wasn't quite there to have this very mature and adult conversation, as the viewer has mentioned in their comment. So unfortunately, as time goes on, the cracks start showing, and obviously the honesty starts coming through. And then you're going to have these adult conversations. So they might have been dating already 6 months. They might have already moved in together. So those pre-conversations can't always be had. We hope that they do.
Yeah.
We really do hope that they do. And we would prefer that that did happen. But it's not always realistic and kind of the ideal world for those conversations to have been taken place.
Lovely. Thank you. Mandy, I've got a comment just for you, by the way. Take a look at this. Here it comes. So Sonia Levin saying, if you choose to struggle through this or decide to end things before stating your case, you might just encounter the same problem, different relationships. So rather communicate now and tell exactly how it is for you. If she does not care about how you feel about this issue, then she does not love you. What do you think about that? Communication, once again, I mentioned to you, we are South African men. Sometimes it's difficult for us to communicate certain things. And when we do get vulnerable, we are worried about rejection and shame. It's the two biggest things we worry about as men. What do you think about that particular comment, especially based on our case study?
Yes, I think definitely but it's so important, even though you feel vulnerable and you feel fearful in any situation or in that specific relationship, to communicate. It's tough. It's sometimes difficult to start that conversation, but without it, you can't live an authentic life. If you're going to pretend to be somebody or to be happy or to be, able to financially meet, whatever expectations there is, and in the end, you only, having all this debt piling up on you because you're pretending to be that person, you're not going to be happy. And if you want to live an authentic life and you want to be in a relationship where you are happy, that communication is crucial. And as the person said, if the other person is not willing to come to the table and to discuss that or to sort it out, then you have to ask yourself.
Very true. Cindy, want to add? I know you do.
I was just thinking about that comment, and something that it seems like there's an underlying point that is so valid.
Yes.
Is that knowing that your partner has your best interest at heart. If you've stepped into this relationship knowing that your partner has your best interest at heart, that communication shouldn't be so hard. That honesty shouldn't be so hard to ask that question, do they love me? Is this now going to be a make or break situation? I mean, it is very stressful. Finances as an individual is already so stressful. Now combining two individuals in a home setting, it can be very stressful. But if you know your partner has your back, you should be able to approach them with a lot more ease, to be transparent and say, this is the situation. And then the communication is obviously, as you heard many times, important.
This is great. I feel like we need an entire show for finances and relationships. I mean, watch this space. We might just podcast the whole thing, but ladies, thank you so much. That's all we have time for, unfortunately. But I think that what's very, very clear in that conversation was communication, number one. And if there are certain underlying feelings that you may have, especially being, let's just say, in the case studies context, a man, go to therapy, my good sir. Do not worry, it's going to make you a better individual, and it's going to help you manage so many different scenarios. Just a thought for you today on your Feel Good Breakfast Show as we get on over to Johannesburg with my bestie, Zanele, who's standing by.